and welcome to Just Between Us, the podcast with all of the answers, some of the time.
We're your hosts. I'm Diana Vickers.
And I'm Alice Giddings.
Each week, we take your calls, hear your stories, and answer your burning questions.
And of course, we'll be sharing our own experiences because let's be real, we've both made some very questionable decisions along the way.
And that's Just Between Us. Okay, right, let's see what's going on in the group chat this week.
Can't wait. Right, okay.
Here we go.
Get the first one up. Right, here it is.
Leave it alone, it's her.
Oh my God, I'm dead. Not the old pigeon on the shoulder. I'm absolutely dead. That is a sign. That's one of those memes where you go, I wasn't going to have a big one this weekend. And then you go out and it's like pigeon on the shoulder with the Mackie D's.
They're rats with wings, though.
I cannot stand pigeons.
Well, yeah, not near me.
No, they're like riddled.
Although there was a poorly one that came to my balcony and I tried to nurse it back to health and it just buggered off.
Well, yeah, I know, I can imagine. And they've got no strength, those things. They are rats with wings. But it's really funny, that reminds me of a video that I saw the other day, and it was like at a festival, and this guy, it must have been like 6 a.m. or something, and he'd found a duck. And it was just like, yeah, a duck. And he brought it back, and he was like, hey, but I was a bit like, these, is it mean with the duck? I was a bit like, when that's like a pigeon accidentally sat on you, I was a bit like, that's mean with the duck. Like,
yeah, that duck did not need that outing.
Duck friends.
At all. And now he needs to go back to his pals.
Yeah, I know.
Drunken antics, though, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that definitely needs to be one of those me being like, said I was only going to have one drink, cut to pigeon on my shoulder.
Made a new pal.
I know, dead. Okay, who sent that, by the way? Can someone let us know? And let us know like what led up to that moment. Where were you? What time was that? How much you had to drink? We need to know the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pronto.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the next message.
Yeah.
And it says, girls, oh my God, I cannot wait for the new episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I couldn't believe the last episode. Please tell me you're Team Conrad. Anyone else on board?
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
I mean, it's literally been all over my TikTok for ages, and that kind of makes me, when something's all over my TikTok, I then don't want to watch it.
You're like me, I hate hype.
Yeah.
It's like, it's too much. I get like bombarded with it. It's a lot, but I will watch it. Go and show me who these fellas are.
Right,
then.
okay. So from my understanding,
Okay.
there is Team Conrad and Team Jeremiah. So,
okay.
I mean, if we're going to be really superficial about it, who are we going to pick?
I mean, they're just the same. That is the same person to me.
Maybe she has a type.
That is literally the same person. They are the same guy. They're brothers.
They're brothers.
Oh, I'll have both of them. Whatever. They're both cute. I'll have them.
I think
So,
Conrad's more my type, to be honest.
honestly, I think the glasses are so similar.
I mean, I bet she's hotter than both of them.
I'm going to go Conrad. I feel like he looks a little bit more... I'm going to go Conrad.
Sorry, Jeremiah, I feel bad.
Yeah, we made the right choice, apparently.
We have good taste. The radar is on point.
Yeah, we get it.
Okay, last one.
Yes.
Are you ready? This one's a voice note.
Play it.
Okay.
Okay, so last week I was texting this guy and things got a little bit flirty. I thought I was being smooth, sending him a cheeky little voice note. The only problem was I accidentally sent it to my work group chat instead of him. So instead of being sexy and mysterious, it was just me, very awkwardly, whispering, well, let's say inappropriate stuff to my entire team. I immediately realised and of course tried to delete it, but of course one colleague had already played it. I had never wanted the floor to swallow me up so badly. We're all still laughing about it, except me, obviously. The moral of the story is to double check your contacts before hitting send, girls.
No.
I mean, I'm glad everyone's laughing about it because imagine if HR got hold of that one, you'd be screwed.
Absolute nightmare. Have you ever done that before?
Not to my work chat. No, I might have accidentally send it to the girls group chat, but I've never, ever confused a work chat with a boy chat. There's just sacred territory there.
I've definitely not I've definitely not done like anything sexy to a work thing, touch wood. I've definitely sent a few wrong messages to people, like I did it the other week.
Oh, yeah.
I've been upset with
The other
someone
week?
before.
When did you do it the other
In a
week?
work chat. I thought that I thought that it was to someone that I worked with. It was to someone that I worked with, but I thought it was to one person, not the group that we're in.
I hope you weren't having a little bitch.
I wasn't, but you know when you're like, like that, but it wasn't bad. It really, really wasn't bad. But even when it's nothing bad, but like it's more like an off note.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, but it's fine. It wasn't like bad. But I have done that thing before where I've been upset with a friend and I've sent it to them and
That's
not
so awkward.
the person. And I've been like, well, yeah, you're pissing me off. Sorry.
Yeah. Now you know.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not happy with you. But you know what? I'm pretty put my hands up that nothing I'm going to say to anyone won't say to their face anyway. So whatever.
She's an honest queen.
Yeah, but not the sexy sex to the work chat.
No. I mean, I hope that, you had some good dirty talk at least.
Yeah. Also, I think with those situations, you just got to laugh about it. If not, you will literally cry. My friends, actually, we all went to Ibiza. This was it. I didn't work with these, but we all went to Ibiza and we took a photo to be like, hey, in Ibiza, to send to our group. And my mate sent it accidentally to her work chat.
I mean, just make them jealous.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that was quite funny, but they were a bit like, who the hell are all these people? So it happens. And if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So I saw a really interesting thing online that I was like, ooh, what's all this about? About apparently porn sites being investigated because people going on their sites aren't age appropriate.
Yeah, it's Ofcom that's nosing around. Basically, in the world of porn, there was never really any regulation around. Actually, OnlyFans does this well because they had an age restriction from the start. You had to be verified in order to get onto OnlyFans to watch that content and pay for that content. However, big porn sites like Pornhub, for example, if you click on it and it just says, are you 18? Just let us know. And you could be like, yeah, I'm 18, even if you're like 14 and never seen a pair of breasts before. Yeah. And so Ofcom thought, hang on a minute, this isn't great, because there was a study done, I think, that some 9-year-olds were being exposed to porn and stuff like that. So they were like,
wild.
We have to put a stop to this. And their antidote to this was age verification that involved having to show your ID or a facial scanner that would use AI to determine your age. I see. Or your bank details, a credit card, something that they could use to verify your age. And a few porn sites, I won't name who, weren't impressed because obviously people are scared to put their details in.
That's
to
true,
porn sites.
Of course.
So they didn't necessarily really want to take it that seriously.
That's so hard.
In case they lose business.
I know. Well, yeah, of course. But that is really hard because I just thought that. I was like, well, it isn't a very good system, is it? Because you could literally put your date of birth in and it could be a complete lie. But then, some people are so private about it, and a lot of people go on porn and they might feel a bit of shame, and you never know. People, that you give your information out, don't you, to these sites, and you don't know how it can bite you in the tush, That's quite a scary position, but it's you're saying a big porn site just saying no to that.
A lot have really got on board with it, but there are some that aren't happy. But as I said, OnlyFans does this really well and, really tries to make sure that everyone accessing their content is 18 plus. Mm-hmm. And we actually have an OnlyFans creator giving us a bell today. She's called Annie.
Do we now?
Yes, and she has a very unique selling point, which I'm sure she'll tell you about.
Oh, the old USP. Let's have a listen. Get her on the line. Hey, Annie. So where are you calling from today?
Literally, I'm sorry.
Oh, Surrey.
Oh, you're
office.
right next to me. I'm just on the Surrey border myself.
Little Surrey girls.
So tell us a bit about your journey with OnlyFans, and perhaps we could start with your unique selling point, because we've chatted briefly before and I know that you've got a gynecological condition that sets you apart from other women.
Yeah, so I was born with 2 vaginas.
Wow,
which is kind of wild if you think about it. Yeah.
incredible. Please elaborate. How did you find that out?
So I was 16 and I went to get the marina core fitted, and I like went to the doctors and they put me in the stirrups to put it in, and this nurse just puts her hand inside me and goes, "Oh, there's something in the way." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's not what you want to hear when a nurse has your hand inside your vagina. Like, is everything all right?" She was like, "I generally don't know what's wrong. You need to go see a gynecologist and then they can figure it all out for you." They were basically like to me, "I don't know if you've got like some form of like," she basically turned around to me, she's like, "You've got a mucus or a membrane."
Oh
And I was like, "My vagina has a cold."
The vagina has not the vagina cold. What a nightmare.
I know. I was like, "What the hell?" So I went to see the gynecologist, and then basically what happened was they turned around to me and were like, I had a bunch of scans, MRIs, ultrasounds, everything, and they turned around to me and they were like, "Yeah, you have two vaginas."
That's wild.
It is wild.
How common is this? So is it not how many do you know the percentage of women that have two vaginas in the world?
Yeah, so it's 0.3% of all women, but there's like three types. So it's called uterus didelphys, which means you have which sounds like double uterus, but you can have two uteruses on their own and then one cervix and one vagina, or you can have two uteruses, two cervixes and just one vagina, or you can have two uteruses, two cervixes and two vaginas. And I have that one, but the 0.3 covers all three types.
Right.
So what you have is really, really, really rare.
Yeah, really, really rare.
What do they then explain to you like why this has happened, like what the reason is? How do you feel in that moment when no, you didn't really explain that?
I don't think he really knew what he was no, he didn't know who he was talking about. That was like kind of he was like very much like yeah, so you have two vaginas, that's nice. So do you want to stay on the pill or would you like a different one?
Oh my God.
Literally
so blasé about it. So just FYI, I've got two vaginas. And then can I just ask, okay, because obviously this is you've interviewed, before, but is it visible? Can you see? Do you have like what? I need like a visual.
So externally, it looks the same as a normal vagina. Like
Right.
I just have like one clit, one of everything else.
Okay.
But then it's when you open like up immediately, it's like split. There's a wall that goes from the top of my uterus all the way down to the bottom of like my opening. So it like splits into two holes. It's like a fork in the road, best described, I guess.
That's a really good way to describe it.
In the road. So like, I need to act. Can I ask just like all these details now?
Go for
so
it.
like, can you, for example, use both of the vaginas at the same time?
Yes, I can.
Really?
Diana's just had a revelation.
This is wild. I'm obsessed with this. So that means that you can be having penetrative sex with two different penises at the same time.
Yeah, in different vaginas.
And does it feel? Is it?
Going.
Do you know what? It's very cramped in there.
I can imagine. Is there a preferred vagina, or do they both feel the same?
I have a dominant vagina.
Do you? Okay. And
yeah,
then,
so my right one is like more, I would say dominant because it's actually like bigger and deeper, whereas my left one is tighter and shallower.
right.
It's so interesting. I mean, explain to us when you got told that. Obviously, it didn't seem like it was the best delivery from the doctor. So what was going through your head? Because how old were you when you actually got the diagnosis?
I was 16, and I can tell you what, it was like one of the like. When I say this, I feel like really like I used to feel really embarrassed because obviously like when you're 16, there's so many things you could be diagnosed with, and having two vaginas probably isn't the worst thing in the world. But when you're 16 years old, it is. And you're like, I remember being like to the doctor, I don't want to be like this anymore. Like, can I get rid of it? I want to just be normal. And I didn't speak about it for years and years. Like, I only just opened up talking about it at like a drunken party at university. And like, I slept with a drunk boy and I told him when I was drunk. And they were the only really times that I ever spoke about it. So it was like really hard. And like, I remember I was sat in the car with my mum, and me and my mum just sat in silence because a lot of the conversations were, we don't know what your future looks like for children. And at 16 years old, so you don't think about kids at 16 unless obviously like you're 16 and pregnant, like you're in that TV show. But I wasn't in that TV show.
Yeah.
And so it was a big thing that I just had to deal with at the age of 16, thinking to myself, okay, cool, probably no children. And then that was obviously upsetting in itself. And my mum always remembers, like she says to me, that she sat in the car and she's just like, I don't know how to tell you that you're not going to have kids. Because my mum used to sing praises about being a mum. Like, so she was just, I just didn't know how to comfort you or make you feel better. But my brother gave me a delightful phone call and told me, welcome to the X-Men. And I can't lie, I have like, it's grained in my brain because it was one of the nicest things, because it was somebody making a joke out of it and not like either avoiding the subject completely or like, it was just nice. And I guess kind of like a nicer swing on it than me just thinking like, oh great, the doctors don't know how to help me, the doctors don't want to help me. Because I got discharged pretty like immediately afterwards, and then got told by another doctor in A&E that I shouldn't be discharged and I should be like going to see them regularly just to make sure everything's okay. There's a lot of whiplash.
But the misinformation, because women with your condition can have children. In fact, they can get pregnant 2 separate
Yeah, I was literally just
times
going to ask.
at different
Wow.
points, can't they? I mean, we've covered it at Metro, a woman who had twins, but in different uterus. Well, she carried them in different wombs.
It's actually such a gift, really. Something that when you find, when you find out when you're younger, when you're 16, you're thinking anything that makes you not normal is that you just want to be normal, don't you? Anything, you're just like, I just want to fit in. I just want to fit in rather than it being a superpower.
Yeah. But Annie, for you, is kids something that you're concerned about right now? Because obviously you actually have quite a successful OnlyFans career. So tell us a bit about what you're doing right now and how that childcare kind of fits in with your plan, if you even want children. Like, fill us in.
I think because when I started, when I was 16, I had it in my headset that I wasn't ever having kids. And obviously, the more I talk about it, the more people message me being like, I've had kids, which is like one of the coolest things whenever I have like something go out. Like, people always message me and they're just like, oh, I had children, like, you can do it. Like, I like went through all these things and people tell me all about it. So I think if you'd have turned around to me at 16, there would have been a major relief for me. But now, as like an adult who obviously has quite a career in like the sex industry, I'm not ready for children yet. So I think where my head has obviously been turned off for kids for so long anyway, this introduction of like, oh, you could possibly have them, my brain's just a bit like, my career right now isn't a good idea for children. I personally, I don't like disagree with anybody who has kids who are in the industry. I think kids are beautiful and like that's lovely, but I personally don't want to have a child because the backlash that my child will receive is a lot, and I just don't want to put a kid through that. I'm also like still in my head 27, which some of my friends are like, oh my god, we're 27, when are we having babies? And I'm like, oh, I'm like gonna have one maybe at 40.
Yeah,
if I've retired by then.
I get that mindset, babe. I'm definitely in that mindset as well, so I totally understand. In terms of, can I just ask about your how you got into this? Was it because of how did you get into the sex industry? What was it that made you do that? Was it your USP that was like, oh, this is quite great, I'll show that? What instigated it?
No, I actually didn't start because of my USP. My USP I started introducing afterwards because I kept it very private. It's always like stuff. I wanted to go into politics. When I first started OnlyFans, I thought I'd not show my face. I wouldn't use my name. I was like Tay at the start, all of this. And I was like, I'm going to be this like faceless person who doesn't have anything, like not very different. And because I was like, oh, I'll deactivate it when I like graduate. And because I was at uni at the time, and I was like, and then I'll go into politics. Again. Hilarious that I thought that was possible. Like the internet lasts forever. But I know I was 21, but come on, how naive can you be?
I mean, that's true. Honestly, it's like with everything, you put it out there, it's out there, isn't it?
Oh, for good.
It is. It's a terrifying place.
But yeah, so I started it because it was lockdown and I was talking to boys for free and doing everything I do on OnlyFans, but I like talking to guys. And sadly, I'm a hopeless romantic. And I thought like me talking to them that somehow after lockdown was over, they'd like fall in love with me and I'd have a boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. I was literally getting aired and people were just being assholes, and I was like getting heartbroken over Snapchat, like tragic. So I just thought, do you know what? What I saw this girl on Instagram and she was doing it and she was making like 11 grand a week. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm getting heartbroken and like I'm being paid in heartbreak where I could be getting paid in money. I was like, what am I doing? I'm doing this for free and I'm sad. Why can't I do it for money and be happy? Yeah, and I know then that they're not going to be my boyfriend because they're paying me. And then that just took off and I started doing really well at uni. And then I had a conversation with one of my friends about having 2 vaginas and she was like, you're an idiot. She was like, what are you doing not selling that? So I started selling it, had a record-breaking month on OnlyFans, like, well, at that time anyway. And then I realized that it was definitely like the right, I remember telling my mum, being like, I'm dropping out of university. I'm not finishing my degree. I'm doing OnlyFans full time. She went, shut up. I was like, what? She was like, you can do OnlyFans full time if you want. She was like, but you're not wasting like the 60 grand you've spent on university fees. She was like, just finish your degree and then do it full time afterwards.
And is that what you did?
How that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the kind of reaction when you tell people about having 2 vaginas, or like what is it in, you know, the difference I guess with men and with women? What is
especially with guys, I feel like I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
To know.
What's their reaction?
Yeah. There's such a range with men.
Yeah.
Some men are like, oh my God, so cool. Like I want to see, but like not in that kind of way, like for science. And like you get that element of people, which is quite a lot of women's reaction as well, to be fair. But then with women, you do lead down like a more of a like gynecological path, and we talk about how terrible gynecology is.
Amen.
And
absolutely.
Yeah, literally. And then with men, there's like 2 streets. There's the street of like, oh my God, for science, I must know. And then I guess there's maybe 3. You've got like the guys that are like, oh my God, this is really cool. Tell me more about it. I kind of want to see, but like not like that. Then you get the people that I'm almost like, I'm like a Pokemon card or a unicorn or something to like catch, I swear. Because it's like, oh my God, I checked the girl 2 vaginas. I'm like, go on then. Shiny Pokemon card right here.
Oh my God.
Is fine. I don't really mind. Like I'm quite a sexual being, so it's not really an issue. But obviously, men looking at you like that is a bit like great. No one ever wants to be your like boyfriend. Everyone wants to like just be like, yeah, it's like almost like a challenge. And then I get some guys that don't even know when we have sex, and afterwards, I tell them, and it's like I need to see it immediately. And like I've had like people fishing around in my vagina while we're after we just
not fishing around. I just have so many questions. Can I just ask a question? Do you menstruate in both vaginas?
Yeah. So when I first started my period, I used to have 2 a month, and I don't really know how that changed. But now I bleed from mostly every month, both. Sometimes it's just 1.
Okay.
But I have to use 2 tampons.
You have to use 2 tampons. Honestly, we have it hard as it is, babe, and you're double booked.
Well, when it comes to birth control, what's the deal with birth control? Do you have to double up doses?
Yeah, I used to have to take 2 of the pill.
Oh my goodness.
As if life wasn't
double
hard
trouble
enough.
this.
Yeah, honestly. I came off it though.
Right.
I couldn't do it anymore. The hormones just messed with me.
I'm not surprised, especially when you've got double the hormones in your body compared to just 1 pill a day.
Absolutely. No, I know. I get like you get bad periods, you like struggle with like endometriosis and everything, and it's just like having the double, it's a lot, babe. And then so how long have you been doing OnlyFans then?
Oh my gosh, since COVID, I took a break for like a couple of months and then went straight back to it. And so I've been doing it for like 4 or 5 years.
And you see it
I only started social media though like 2 years ago.
And you see it in your future moving forward. This is just that you really enjoy it. Feels like you have a good positive relationship with it.
Yeah, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but like I would like to be retired by 35, 36, 37.
Holy moly.
And is that a possibility with what you're doing at the moment and everything that you're earning?
Yeah.
Great.
Would you mind sharing how much you earn, or is that too much?
I can. I'm set to make 150k this month, which is one of my best months I've ever had.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
And is that because obviously you mentioned about the attitudes of men towards you and your condition, your double uterus and stuff. Does that to you, does that paycheck perhaps maybe make that reaction a bit more palatable?
Do you know what? Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Because it's like if the men didn't have that like initial fascination and the initial like I need to see, I need it, like all of this, I probably wouldn't make as much money as I do. Because it's like if I have a video that talks about my two vaginas going viral, the amount of money I get in is actually insane. Like if I have a normal one that's just me talking about like something else and that goes viral, I make good money. But it's like the conversion of when it's like, oh, I had like one that was just being like, hi, my name's Annie and I have two vaginas, and it just blew up. And oh my God, the money I made that week was just stupid.
Yeah, so
Whereas,
I was just going to
other
say,
viral
you do feel like it was a massive difference. I was just going to confirm. I mean, you just said it then that when you revealed that USP, that it did change everything. How many subscribers do you have?
I have like 10,000.
Wow.
It's good money from 10,000 subscribers. I mean, you've been so candid about everything, and I wondered if we could just finish up with kind of how you feel about OnlyFans in general, and whether, you know, you feel like, obviously you've said it's the right choice for you because you want to retire, but do you feel like emotionally you cope with it well and you're happy, most importantly?
Do you know what? When I first started, there was a reason I took a massive break, and that was because I didn't want to do it anymore. And I had a massive like attachment to my worth, to my content. So I was like, whereas you're obviously selling your content, that's just the way it is. But I was attaching my like the financial value of a video to myself. So I was seeing myself as like, I could sell a video for $100 and it will sell. Sometimes I could sell a video for a $5 and 100 people are going to buy it. I'm bad at maths, but like I was making more money for selling it for cheaper, and there was something like wrong with I just couldn't cope. I was like, people just don't value me. I'm not attractive, blah, 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 blah. And it was like a massive thing. So I took a step back and I was like, you know what? This obviously isn't the job for me. I don't have the thick enough skin for it. You do need thick skin, like especially. And then I just realized that I didn't like being poor. That's not fun. And so I just was like, do you know what? Just take your worth. It doesn't matter. It's like I would prefer to have money rolling in my bank than and selling a video for cheaper if it gives me more money at the end of the day. And I had to learn that. There's like things you have to learn. It's like with social media as well. Like I had to take a massive break from social media when I first started, because it was like all of the comments that I would get was so like nasty and so mean.
It can be a really terrifying
and then I had
place,
to,
yeah.
It's just so rough, isn't it?
Yeah. You have like such a love-hate relationship with these things, don't you? It's because like you need that. You need the people to watch. You need the comments. You need all that. But then also when the negative ones come in, it's just absolutely soul destroying. And you're like, oh, actually, when the good ones are coming in and you're getting love and support, it's incredible. The bad ones,
yeah.
And what is it? You get 10 great comments to balance out one like hateful comment. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot.
I remember I had one viral reel and it was like, it just blew up, but got to the complete wrong side of the algorithm. And I didn't even have one positive comment. And I had like over like 1,000 plus, like, it was like crazy the amount of comments. I had to turn my like phone off because it was just every time I pick it up, it was just like, you don't deserve to be happy. No one will ever love you. All of this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like it's just like a reel that probably isn't even like about a real situation. I probably exaggerated it anyway. Like it's just crazy. And that was like, you just have to gain this thick skin. Like you have to be able to do it on your terms. But the problem is with the internet is that there are other people that are going to put themselves in the way of you like trying to do your own thing. And I think like, don't get me wrong, I love the job, but I've had to do a lot of self-discovery and self-appreciation and self-love to be able to do it. If I hadn't have like learned to love myself and realized that I'm actually a really great person and I like love like my life and myself and my family and everything that I've got going on in my life without the job, like just me as a person, if I hadn't have done all of that work, I wouldn't have been able to be so like able to do this job, because it can be soul destroying.
Well, thank you, Annie, for being so candid there. And it's been so informative. I mean, I've still learned new stuff there. And
Yeah,
I know you're
absolutely.
pretty
And you do. You sound
mind-blown.
like you have such a level head on you, babe. And it really feels like as well that you're saying about your mum being there. Like you sound like you've got a really supportive family that you're quite open with about it. And it feels like you own who you are as a person. And you're just like saying, yeah, you know what? I want money. It's an easier life. And you've turned actually, I guess, a situation for you that at first when you were 16 was really overwhelming. And was a lot, and you didn't like it, and now you've actually turned it into a bit of a superpower. So
Yeah.
amen, babe. Good for
Thanks.
you. Good
Thank
for
you
you.
so much for calling in. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely.
Yeah, it's been great, love. Thank you so much. All the best with everything.
Thanks. You guys too.
Thanks, love. Bye.
Bye.
Annie was great. She is just so honest, which I absolutely love. And it did break my heart a bit that, you know, she felt like the money made the hardships of it more bearable. But I do feel like that's quite a universal thing for women in porn, sadly.
Yeah, absolutely. She feels very, just speaking to her and hearing, you know, she feels really level-headed, like she has thought about this. Like, again, she went off the site when she felt quite overwhelmed with it and she took some time out and then she decided, actually, I want to come back to it. So it means that she's considered it and taken, you know, that step away. And, you know, like I said, I guess that 16-year-old girl in her got given this news. It was really overwhelming. That felt like the weight of the world on her shoulders and she felt like she crumbled. And then she's actually been like, you know what, I'm going to turn this situation into something else and make a positive out of it. And it feels like that the financial side of things are obviously really rewarding.
Yeah. And she started OnlyFans at uni, which is exactly what, you know, the likes of Lily Phillips have done. And I think while Annie is a really good example of someone who clearly seems to be able to emotionally handle that as far as we can see, I mean, all the stuff that goes around about Lily breaks my heart because we did the first piece at Metro on Lily before anyone knew who she was. And we said, a woman slept with 100 men in a day. Is it feminist or damaging to women? And now she just went on Stacey Dooley's program.
Wow.
And her parents were begging her not to work in porn anymore. They said they'd sell their house if it was a money thing. And Lily broke down. She's been breaking down.
And what is her perspective on it? Why does she do it? You know, what's her emotional, you know, with Annie, what I loved about her is that she showed that vulnerability of, you know, I'll post a reel and I'll get negative comments and that upsets me and it affects me and I stepped away from it. And then I actually thought, you know what, I'm going to come back and I really appreciate the support. But she was basically talking about how it's not always easy and she's had to battle with that. And then you had the likes of someone like Bonnie Blue that's very, you know, really celebrates that and doesn't feel like she has any emotional attachment to it. And in fact, you know, says how much she loves it. Whereas I don't really know what Lily's emotional connection state is with it.
So when I first spoke to her, I said, surely, you know, 101 men in a day has to take some sort of emotional toll. And she was adamant that she was fine. And she was like, no, I enjoy sex, all of this. She did mention some men pressuring her, which I hate and think, how on earth could you actually enjoy that? So I did see the cracks already. And then the documentary came out about her. It was a YouTube documentary. And she was in tears, like floods and floods and floods of tears. And obviously, then she went on Newsnight and admitted that perhaps she wasn't necessarily open to doing something like that again and maybe regretted it a little bit. And now you see her parents like begging her not to. And it's such a sad, to me personally, a sad trajectory because I think porn can be a really good thing if it's ethical, if the women really want to do it and aren't doing it for, you know, huge views online or on X or on OnlyFans. And it's done with an intimacy coordinator and everything, I think it can be really educational.
Yeah, totally. And some people, you can see a lot of couples that are really in love do it, and it's very raw pornography. And you can, I've come across those videos and you really feel that, and they're really sexy because you're thinking these are two people that are really enjoying it in the moment. I feel a lot when, these girls that we're just talking about here, Bonnie and Lily, when they say that they love it and they're doing it because they love sex, it feels really, it feels like a lie to me. It feels like they're doing that. I feel a lot of the things that are said are to really antagonize women.
I think on Bonnie's part, she's fully admitted that she will use women's comments and rage bait them. She said that.
She loves to do that. And I don't believe for 1 minute that she absolutely loves it. I think that she's just saying that just to seem fine. And she just, obviously, it's a money thing.
I mean, having met her face to face, she is a very intelligent woman. She's not stupid.
Say that. I think that she's just calculated, and
I think calculated maybe, but I mean intelligent as she knows exactly how to work the internet, how to work people talking about her to get views. She knows exactly what to say to irritate people and get more clicks that way.
Yeah.
And she has built an entire family network around her by having them on her payroll. And she says she has that support. And she has this empire now that she's built. Regardless of how she's built it, she's done it. And I fundamentally disagree with sleeping with, virgins on camera. I don't think that you can fully consent to something when you haven't ever done it before. In terms of it being filmed and put out there, I think that's an experience you need to have in the privacy of your own home.
I think a lot of those young boys will regret it as well. I think that when you're younger, it's a bit foolish and you go ahead and you don't know what to do, and maybe they are a bit scared virgins want to try something out. And I think that it's quite sad because when you're that young, you don't, like I said, you don't really know what you're doing, and they will probably, I'm almost definitely sure that they'll regret that in the future.
Yeah. And it frustrated me with the Channel 4 documentary that, it focused so much on Bonnie and not on the men who had queued up, the 1,000 men who were queued up that day to partake in that, because one woman can choose what she does with her body, whether we agree or disagree with it, whatever. It's your choice, your body. I can't stop you, won't stop you. But if I had dated a man who had queued up to have sex with a woman, and he was one of 1,000, and he had no emotional connection to her, he hadn't even spoken to her or met her for the 7 seconds or 30 seconds that he was, doing the deed, I would really question what type of man you are, because that is just horrific to me.
Absolutely. They're part of the problem. They're all the problem, really. I don't agree with it. I think it does, I'm just not in. The thing is, though, it's like she obviously said that she wants rage baiting, she wants reactions and all of that. So I just try not to. And I'm like, do what you want. I think that I do find the sort of, it's like an antagonizing comments of, talking about how, women don't do that. I've had a lot of conversations with women recently that want to have sex with their partners and they don't want to have sex, and they're not really feeling it. They're really busy with work. They're making excuses. And a lot of women that should be getting laid, that I know that deserve it, aren't doing. And so I think that what is really frustrating is that she really generalizes and makes it about, the women's problem.
Yeah.
And that really, that's just, it's so incorrect.
And it's saddening as well.
Yeah.
So we've done so much to try and paint this picture of equality in relationships, and then to blame a lack of sex life on one person.
Yeah.
Or one side of that relationship. It is really depressing.
Yeah.
And I do agree with that. But I'm a staunch believer that there's definitely a place for sex work in society. And I do think that safe sex work should be championed and protected. But I think that extreme sex stunts, like I have spent the past, year or so reporting on, are just getting so beyond out of hand now. And I truly believe that our society has gotten porn sick. I think there's a huge pushback on all of that now because of how much we've been overexposed to it. And everyone is fed up of it.
Yeah.
And well, maybe not everyone. The people partaking in these stunts clearly aren't. But it's so oversaturated right now. And it's hard to watch.
What's your relationship with porn?
I think that, like I said, I think porn is a really great thing if it's ethical and if it's done, with full support and a whole crew there so that that, there are people acting in your best interests, not the filming's best interest. I've definitely watched it before and I think a lot of people...
Yeah.
I think most people have. I think even if you've done it on accident when the internet's exposed you to something. And I think I learned quite a bit from porn.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What about you?
I definitely have. Not a lot, really. I've done it with... Because a lot of me, I have a lot of like emotional connection as well. So I like fantasies. I like to sort of think of people and fantasies, and that is what I enjoy. But yeah, definitely. But again, it's definitely about female pleasure. If I do, I would never go on somewhere and there's all these like aggressive videos that come up and it's, penises that you don't want to see of men that I don't find attractive at all. So definitely pornography that's just about female pleasure. So just basically women.
Yeah.
Also, let's just, there's all different kinds of porn. There's reading porn. Everyone read bloody 50 Shades of Grey. Everyone read Court of Roses.
Court of Thorns and Roses.
Courts of Thorns and Roses. When I see the girlies reading that on the tube, I'm like, oh yeah, go on, girl.
Well, we do articles about women who literally have to read a spicy book to get in the mood before having sex with their husbands.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, words and stories can do wonders for your sex drive, it's crazy. And
it really can, because also I think that's a lot with women and imagination as well.
Yeah.
Because you can then put whoever you want in that fantasy.
There's a reason that porn is more popular, like literal visual porn is more popular with men, and it's because men get aroused visually,
whereas
women get aroused
in our brains. I'm definitely more of a fantasy girly. Okay, so I love this part. This is the 30-second solutions.
Right, we have Paige on my phone, and Paige says, my partner watches porn daily and I'm torn between feeling insecure and thinking it's normal. Should I bring it up, ignore it, or watch it with them?
I think there's a conversation to be had.
Mm-hmm.
If my boyfriend was watching porn on the daily, that would kind of irritate me. It's like...
Yeah, there's a point, isn't there, where it becomes a bit obsessive.
Yeah, obsessive. So it's like, do they have a bit of an issue? But I do think that you can watch porn with partners and maybe ask to be included and then initiate that conversation first.
I've picked porn for my partner before.
Ooh.
An ex-partner, and he found it really hot. So you could try that, and then you'll be comfortable with the porn he's watching.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Okay.
Would you like the second one?
Yes, please.
We have Tia now, and Tia says, I've realised one of my closest friends only ever vents to me, but never asks how I'm doing. Do I accept that friendships aren't always perfectly balanced, or do I risk the friendship by pointing it out?
Risk it. What the hell are you gaining from that friendship if you can't speak to them?
Not a friendship if it only goes one way, is it?
Yeah, you're just like an agony aunt.
You may as well be a therapist.
Yeah, don't bother. No, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm like, you don't really ask. You don't need to say it in a harsh way. You could just say, listen, babe, sometimes I feel like you don't really ask how I am.
Yeah. Or pay me £60 an hour and then we'll talk.
Yeah, no, call it out, babe. You can do it in a nice way. You don't have to like go and have a go, but absolutely not. The fact that you're even questioning that is just not the vibe. No. Okay. Johnny, I found out my roommate has been using my laptop to watch porn without asking. Do I confront them or just invest in industrial strength disinfectant?
Oh.
I definitely say something.
Oh, you don't know what bodily fluids are on that laptop now?
It's weird. Also, no. Or just change your password.
Yeah, I would say hun, or him, or whoever it is, quit watching porn on my laptop because that's just weird.
I just changed the password and then maybe like, oh, it's really weird. Like weird porn sites keep popping up. I don't know why. Yeah, no. I'd definitely say something and then block him. No access. Want to know our favourite secret? Okay, but it's just between us. It lives in your inbox.
Sign up to Love Honey's newsletter and get 40% off one product. That's right, anything site-wide.
Early access to spicy launches, cheeky offers, and discreet next-day delivery. Just pleasure.
So click the link in our show notes and feel the love, honey.
And give us a call because we want to know how you get on.
It's our little secret, just between us. All right, things are about to get very interesting because we have partnered with our good friends at Love Honey, and they've sent us a bag of goodies, very interesting, spicy goodies, and we are going to blindfold the fabulous Diana here, and she is going to guess based on the feel and the noise of the item, the sexy item in the bag. She's going to guess what it is. Or try to, anyway.
Yes, apparently so. And if I get them wrong, apparently I'll get a little whip. This blindfold is from Love Honey. So
As
here we
is
go.
my fabulous contraption here.
Okay, right. This is so kinky. Oh my god. Okay. Butt plug. Is that a butt plug?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You wasted no time. She knows.
I know a butt plug. Yeah, there we go. I'm not going to tell you how I know a butt plug, but I knew that was a butt plug. It's quite heavy though.
It's weighty.
I thought they were more like more rubbery, but this. Oh my god, it's so cute. It's got a heart.
I know, it's adorable.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that is chic.
And it could double up on your desk as a paperweight.
Oh, I love a butt plug that doubles up as a paperweight. How versatile.
It is super cute though. I'm a big fan.
Oh, I love that. Yes, into it. This is literally made for us. Just between us. Butt plug. Okay, so time for the hot take of the week.
Okay.
And today it is, does watching porn class as cheating?
I love this question. Okay. No, but in any relationship, you need to clearly define the boundary. What is cheating to one person is not cheating to another. So make sure that you and your partner have exact boundaries of what constitutes cheating. If your partner is uncomfortable with you watching porn, that needs to be respected. However, you are more than entitled to say why you watch it and reassure them that you're not watching it for weird and seedy reasons. But I don't think black and white, it is classed as cheating at all.
No, I don't think it's cheating at all. I think it's black and white. Obviously, if your partner's watching it excessively and it's quite odd and you're picking up on an odd pattern here, then I think then that's a conversation and you're like, hey, or it's coming out at inappropriate times. You know, you're a bit
porn
like,
addiction is a serious thing.
it's
so
a real thing.
That's a conversation that certainly needs to be
Yeah, or if
had.
you're not having sex with a partner and then they just keep watching porn.
Yeah, I'd
then
be a bit bummed.
Obviously, I'd then be thinking, well, if you're not touching me and then you're watching porn, that's obviously an issue here. But if it feels like you're having a really healthy sex life, that you feel fulfilled, and then, you know, occasionally you might have gone, oh, I was away that weekend and I seen that they're watching a bit of porn. I don't know how I'd feel. I maybe would feel a bit like, oh, well, why didn't you FaceTime me or something?
So is it a bit of an amber flag for you sometimes?
It's not an amber flag because you never know what would be going on in that moment. It would depend on what kind of porn it was, who was on there, if it was like, what was going on. Yeah, maybe I would like to think that they would call me, but then, you know, sometimes I might have been busy at a lunch and then they might be like, well, I can't really like message Diana now. She's at lunch with her mum. So I just need a quick fix.
There's also something icky. I'm going to offend so many people here. There's something icky to me about the paying for it aspect.
Yeah.
If I found out my partner was paying to watch a specific woman on OnlyFans,
No.
I would have a big issue with that.
Yeah.
If it's just, someone they don't know, don't follow on a porn site, fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me,
it feels more like that's an investment or something in a specific person.
It.
And if you're paying, I totally get that. Listen, it would just have to be like, maybe something that we'd watched before, and that he was like, I kind of like fancy that. It kind of works every time, when you're like, all right, okay, cool. And it was just like her bum, and there was no face. Then I'd be like, yeah, okay, fine.
You've got a whole set of guidelines.
I know, I have got guidelines. There was one guy that I was dating for a while, and he did show me like the videos that he watched, and they were very like not really any woman, but it was just very specifically just a body part and a certain thing, and it was just like because a lot of men need visuals, but there was no emotional attachment there, and there wasn't really a lot going on.
Fine,
yeah. And I was like,
and
okay.
Great that he felt comfortable to show you.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to hide, clearly.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, well, that's fair enough. Whereas, like, if it was one specific woman and it was, like, really aggressive or something that I didn't really agree with, then that would be, I wouldn't like that. So, so I wouldn't class it as cheating, but I'd say that I have rules.
Yeah, there's grey areas, for sure.
That's it for this week's episode of Just Between Us, the podcast with all the answers, some of the time.
If you've got a story or a burning question, then email us at justbetweenus@metro.co.uk, or you can join our WhatsApp group because the link is in the bio.
And make sure that you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at JBUPod for all the behind-the-scenes clips. Until next time, keep it messy, keep it honest,
and remember, it's just between us. And of course, don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never, ever miss an episode.